Cornwall at just 2 degrees Celsius this morning, colder than Aberdeen, which is sitting at 5 degrees. Yes, you heard that right. Is your area about to face the most dramatic temperature swing we've seen this February? Right now, the Met Office has yellow warnings in place across 12 counties affecting over 15 million people, and what S coming in the next 72 hours could change everything. In the next 12 minutes, I'll give you exact timings for when this hits London, Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow, Cardiff, and Belfast. Plus, I'll show you the one detail the models can agree on that could mean the difference between light showers and 20 millimeters of rain for the southeast. Drop your location in the comments right now, and I'll cover your specific area in tomorrow's forecast. Let me get straight to the timings you need. London, currently 8 degrees, dropping to 4 degrees by tomorrow evening with rain arriving around 6 o'clock, heaviest overnight, clearing by Saturday morning. Manchester, you are at 6 degrees now, down to 3 degrees tomorrow with sleet possible on higher ground from midnight onwards. Birmingham sits at 7 degrees, falling to 4 degrees with persistent rain from Friday afternoon through to Saturday lunchtime. Glasgow, currently 5 degrees, staying steady at 4 degrees, but here S where it gets interesting. You could see snow on higher ground north of the city from Friday evening. Cardiff, 8 degrees now, dropping to 5 degrees with heavy rain Friday night, 40 millimeters possible in exposed areas. Belfast, 6 degrees currently, down to 3 degrees with the wettest conditions arriving Saturday morning, clearing by afternoon. But here, as what nobody is talking about. This isn't just about rain or cold, it's about the combination. The Met Office model is showing a deep, low-pressure system tracking northeast across Ireland and into Scotland, whilst the European model suggests it stays further south, potentially stalling over Wales and the Midlands. This 50-mile difference changes everything for Bristol, Oxford, and the southwest. Tomorrow morning's model runs should clarify this, so do check back, because right now we are looking at two very different scenarios. Let me break down what is happening across the rest of the country. Leeds, you are looking at 5 degrees, dropping to 2 degrees, with rain turning to sleet on the Pennines. Liverpool currently at 7 degrees, falling to 4 degrees with blustery showers from the Irish Sea. Sheffield at 6 degrees now, down to 3 degrees with snow possible above 300 metres. Newcastle, 5 degrees currently, staying around 4 degrees, but strong winds making it feel closer to 0. Bristol at 9 degrees, dropping to 6 degrees with the heaviest rain likely Friday evening. Southampton currently 10 degrees, falling to 7 degrees with rain arriving later than areas further west around 10 o'clock Friday night. And for those of you in Edinburgh, you are sitting at 4 degrees now, dropping to 2 degrees with snow showers possible, particularly in the Pentland Hills. Nottingham at 7 degrees, down to 4 degrees with steady rain from Friday afternoon. Leicester, similar story, 7 degrees now, 4 degrees tomorrow with rain developing. Brighton, you are the warmest spot this morning at 11 degrees, but that drops to 8 degrees with rain sweeping in from the west Friday night. Plymouth at 8 degrees currently, falling to 6 degrees, and you will see the rain first, arriving Thursday evening around 8 o'clock. Wait until you see what S coming for next week, but I'll get to that in about 8 minutes. The pressure gradient is tightening, which means wind speeds are increasing. Cambridge currently 9 degrees, you'll drop to 6 degrees with winds gusting to 60 kilometres per hour from the southwest. Oxford at 9 degrees now, falling to 6 degrees with similar wind speeds. Dover sitting at 10 degrees this morning, down to 8 degrees with cross-channel ferries likely facing disruption Friday night and Saturday morning. Blackpool at 7 degrees, dropping to 5 degrees with coastal gales possible, winds potentially reaching 80 kilometres per hour along exposed seafront areas. Now, there is one location that could see something unexpected. Inverness, you are at 3 degrees currently, dropping to 1 degree, and whilst most of the central belt sees rain, you could wake up to 5 centimetres of snow on Saturday morning. The models are still uncertain about exactly how far north this precipitation reaches and whether it falls as rain or snow. Aberdeen at 5 degrees now, staying around 4 degrees, and you are right on that rain-snow boundary as well. Scarborough, 7 degrees, dropping to 4 degrees with rain and strong winds. The North Sea coast will be particularly rough Friday night. York at 6 degrees, down to 3 degrees with persistent rain from Friday afternoon. Exeter at 9 degrees currently, falling to 7 degrees. And Devon, you're looking at 30 to 40 millimetres of rain in a 24-hour period starting Friday lunchtime. Penzance, the far southwest at 9 degrees, dropping to 7 degrees. You'll see the first bands of rain Thursday evening, the leading edge of this system. Actually, I should be more precise about that timing for Penzance. The latest model run suggests rain arrives closer to 7 o'clock Thursday evening rather than the 6 o'clock I was seeing earlier. These small shifts matter when you're replanning your evening. Swansea, currently 8 degrees, falling to 5 degrees with heavy rain overnight Friday. The Brecon Beacons could see snow above 500 metres. Bangor at 7 degrees, down to 4 degrees with rain developing Friday evening. Snowdonia likely to see significant snowfall above 600 metres. Derry sits at 6 degrees now, dropping to 3 degrees with the wettest conditions Saturday morning, 30 millimetres possible. The Hebrides at 5 degrees, staying around 4 degrees with rain and very strong winds, gusting to 90 kilometres per hour in exposed areas. There is still some uncertainty about the exact track of this low pressure system. If it tracks 50 miles further north, Manchester and Leeds see more snow. If it tracks 50 miles further south, London and the southeast see heavier rain. This is precisely why I need you to drop your location in the comments, because tomorrow's forecast will have much tighter detail once we see tonight's model runs. Let me just clarify the weekend outlook, because this is where things improve, at least for some areas. Sunday sees high pressure building from the west, which means drier conditions for most. Temperatures recovering slightly, London back up to 10 degrees, Manchester at 8 degrees, Glasgow at 6 degrees. But here's the thing, that high pressure brings anticyclonic gloom for some central and eastern areas. Norwich at 8 degrees Sunday, but potentially grey all day. Ipswich similar, 9 degrees under thick cloud. The Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey, Uri sitting at 11 degrees currently, dropping to 9 degrees with rain Friday, but clearing quicker than mainland areas, dry by Saturday lunchtime. Isle of Wight at 10 degrees, down to 8 degrees with rain Friday night into Saturday morning. Orkney at 4 degrees, staying around 3 degrees with strong winds and frequent showers, some wintry. Shetland, 3 degrees currently, staying around 2 degrees. Again, strong winds and showers, some falling as snow. Wait until you see what next week brings. The European model is suggesting another deep, low-pressure system for Tuesday, Wednesday, potentially bringing more widespread rain and wind. The Met Office model is less aggressive, showing a weakening system. We'll have a clearer picture tomorrow, because right now it could go either way at this stage. Bournemouth currently 10 degrees, falling to 8 degrees with rain sweeping through Friday night. Salisbury at 9 degrees, down to 6 degrees with steady rain from Friday evening. Worcester at 8 degrees, dropping to 5 degrees with persistent rain Saturday morning. Stoke-on-Trent at 6 degrees, falling to 3 degrees with rain possibly turning to sleet on higher ground overnight Friday. Preston at 6 degrees currently, down to 4 degrees with showers from the Irish Sea becoming more persistent Friday night. Carlisle at 5 degrees, dropping to 2 degrees, and the Lake District will see snow above 400 metres, possibly 10 centimetres on the highest peaks. Hang on, let me check that again for the Lake District. Actually, the latest Met Office data suggests snow levels could drop to 300 metres overnight Friday, which means more widespread snow across Cumbria than I initially thought. Coventry at 7 degrees, dropping to 5 degrees with rain from Friday afternoon through to Saturday lunchtime. Lincoln at 7 degrees, down to 4 degrees, and the Lincolnshire Wolds could see some sleet mixing in overnight. For those of you in Reading, you are at 9 degrees currently, falling to 6 degrees with rain arriving around 8:00 Friday evening. Colchester at 9 degrees, dropping to 6 degrees. You are on the eastern edge of the heaviest rain, so amounts will be lower, perhaps 15 to 20 millimetres compared to 30 millimetres further west. Gloucester at 8 degrees, falling to 6 degrees with rain Friday evening into Saturday. Bath at 9 degrees, dropping to 7 degrees, and the Cotswolds will be particularly wet Friday night. I know this isn't ideal for anyone with weekend plans, but Sunday does look considerably better for most areas. High pressure brings drier conditions, lighter winds, and for western areas, some sunshine breaking through. Lancaster at 6 degrees, down to 4 degrees with rain Friday night. Whitehaven on the Cumbrian coast at 6 degrees, falling to 4 degrees with rain and coastal gales. The Met Office Unified model and the GFS American model are actually in good agreement for Friday's system, but they diverge significantly for next week. This uncertainty beyond 5 days is completely normal, but it does mean checking back daily is essential if you've got plans next week. Dundee sits at 4 degrees currently, dropping to 2 degrees with rain, turning to snow on higher ground to the north and west. Perth at 4 degrees, down to 2 degrees. The Grampians will see significant snowfall, possibly 15 centimetres above 500 metres. Now then, let's talk about the one detail that concerns me most. It's not the rain totals, it's not even the wind speeds, it's the temperature drop happening whilst we've got saturated ground. For areas that see significant rainfall Friday, when temperatures drop overnight, untreated roads could become icy Saturday morning, particularly in rural areas and higher ground. Scotland, Northern England, and Wales, this is particularly relevant for you. The Isle of Man at 7 degrees, dropping to 4 degrees with rain and strong winds Friday night, ferries likely facing disruption. Ramsey and Douglas both seeing similar conditions. According to the latest model runs, the occluded front associated with this low pressure system will be the main rain producer. As it wraps around the low, areas under it longest see the highest totals. Currently, that looks like South Wales, the Midlands, and parts of northern England. But a 50-mile shift in the low S track changes which areas see the worst conditions. Stratford-upon-Avon at 8 degrees, dropping to 6 degrees with rain Saturday morning. Hereford at 8 degrees, down to 6 degrees with 30 millimetres possible overnight Friday. Right then, let us look at the bigger picture. This Atlantic depression is part of a very active jet stream pattern. We're re-seeing low pressure systems queuing up in the Atlantic, which means unsettled weather looks set to continue through much of February. Tomorrow's forecast will have updated information on that potential midweek system I mentioned earlier. Torquay at 9 degrees, falling to 7 degrees with rain Friday night, clearing Saturday morning. Taunton at 9 degrees, dropping to 7 degrees with steady rain from Friday evening. The Foehn effect could bring slightly warmer temperatures to some eastern Scottish areas in the lee of the mountains, but we were talking 1 or 2 degrees difference, not dramatic warming. Fort William at 4 degrees, falling to 2 degrees with rain at lower levels, heavy snow above 300 metres. Oban on the west coast at 5 degrees, staying around 4 degrees with rain and strong winds off the Atlantic. Skye at 5 degrees, staying around 4 degrees, again very windy with frequent heavy showers. Canterbury at 9 degrees, falling to 7 degrees with rain arriving later Friday night, amounts lower than areas further west. Maidstone at 9 degrees, down to 7 degrees, similar timing. Ashford at 9 degrees, falling to 7 degrees, eastern Kent seeing lighter rainfall totals. If there's one thing to take away from this forecast, it is that Friday night into Saturday morning is when most areas see the worst conditions. If you can avoid travel during that period, particularly in Scotland, Wales, and northern England, that would be sensible. Roads will be wet, some will be icy, and winds will be strong enough to affect high-sided vehicles. Now, I mentioned earlier about tomorrow's forecast covering your specific area. That is not just talk. Drop your city or county in the comments right now, and tomorrow I'll have updated model data showing exactly when this system affects you, updated rainfall totals, and crucially, information on that potential midweek system for next week. The models update every 6 hours, so tomorrow afternoon S forecast will be significantly more precise than what I can give you now. The air mass behind this system is polar maritime, which means frequent showers for western areas even after the main rain clears. Sunday sees these showers affecting western Scotland, Northern Ireland, and western England and Wales. Eastern areas stay drier under that high pressure I mentioned. The weekend improves, but it's not wall-to-wall sunshine. Saturday still has showers for many areas, particularly the north and west. Sunday is better, high pressure bringing drier conditions, but as I said, eastern areas could be rather grey. Next week remains uncertain beyond Tuesday. And actually, that is the perfect segue to tomorrow's forecast. By tomorrow afternoon, I'll have the overnight model runs showing whether next week's system develops or fizzles out. If it develops, we're re-looking at another spell of wet and windy weather Tuesday, Wednesday. If it fizzles, we might see a brief settled spell. That AS, the difference between planning outdoor activities or cancelling them. The jet stream position is key here. It is sitting directly over the UK, which means we are in the firing line for these Atlantic systems. Until it shifts north or south, we stay unsettled. Long-range outlooks suggest it remains over us through mid-February at least. For tomorrow's video, I'll be uploading at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so around 1500 hours. By then, we'll have much clearer detail on rain totals, snow levels, and critically, that midweek system. I genuinely want to help you plan your week, whether that's commuting, outdoor work, or weekend activities. This has been quite the forecast to work through, and I really do appreciate you watching. Weather forecasting has come a long way, but we're still at the mercy of small atmospheric changes that create big impacts on the ground. That's why daily updates matter. Thank you for being here. Drop your location below, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock with your updated